Okay, so we will call to order the meeting, the July 16th meeting of the Oregon City Arts Commission. I'll hand it over to Ann to do the roll call.
Alexis Ingram.
Present.
Kristen Nazari. Here. Joyce Lemaster.
Here.
Josh Planton.
Here.
Rebecca Sierra has an excused absence. Amy Wilson.
Here.
And then Myra Ravenwise, I have not heard. And Mandy Dexter. So we'll see.
Okay.
Thank you.
And just for the record, we do have quorum. Next up is adoption of the agenda. I will note that we kind of modified the structure of the agenda a little bit, given that we've now approved our strategic document. I've broken out the 4 goals under discussion items. So as we go through things going forward, you'll start to see what items apply to which goals, just to kind of keep it fresh in our mind of, the various areas we're working on. But with that, are there any proposed changes or amendments to the agenda? Okay, hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Alexis. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Kristen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say the same. Okay, we'll consider that approved. Next up is minutes from June 18th. These aren't the minutes. Were there any proposed changes to the minutes from June 18th? I have one addition that I'd like to make under item 5C, Railroad Avenue Mural application update. At the end of that first paragraph, it talks about within 45 days. If possible, I'd just like to add in parentheses August 2nd, just for clarification purposes of dates and stuff, which is what was stated in the letter. That was the only change I had. Any other changes? Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes with that amendment?
I motion to approve.
Thank you, Joyce. Is there a second?
I second.
Alexis, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say the same. Okay, we'll consider that approved. Thank you. Next up is public comment. And have we received any public comments?
No, we have not.
Okay.
Actually, that's not true. I lied. When we sent out, I did hear back from 2 neighborhood associations that received notice about the mural that we're going to hear about tonight, expressing their support for the mural.
Okay. Awesome. Then we can move into that section. Presentation of public art mural application on 615 High Street. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Kathy Rowe. I'm the muralist that has been contracted for this mural project at 615 High Street. You should have all the documents, the easement, and the application. Here to answer questions.
Did you want to just go over a little bit of the mural? I don't think we got a copy of the image. We got a copy of the picture of the wings, but not the rest of the image in our packet.
Interesting. Okay.
Let me, we did just receive a public comment, so perhaps after the presentation, can bring that person forward, and I will display the image.
Do you have an image? Because I can email it to you if you want.
It should have been in one of the 2 documents too. Either the application or I'm trying to find it in either the application or the easement. I think it's in the easement. The end. Very last page of the easement, but.
Okay. We'll
The way
bring
that
it up.
the system is integrating with the way that I log into the city's system, it's showing me a different interface. So I'm just gonna go get the image. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Kathy, do you mind going ahead and talking about the image while I go get the?
Okay.
I'm gonna email it to you right now.
Okay.
So the image, it says, elevate yourself in Oregon City. And it has meadowlark in the center with these attached metal wings. The elevator is on one side and then coyote is on the other side. And coyote and meadowlark are working together to create the falls in the indigenous tradition. There's a story about meadowlark and coyote creating the falls so that the people would have lots of food to eat, right? So that is the basis for the design of the mural. And it's going to be at the very top of the elevator area in that plaza there on one of the walls that's facing the elevator.
Was the tribe involved with this selection of their narrative?
I did not contact them specifically, but with I was involved sort of tangentially with the mural that is on White Rabbit. It tells a similar story, and that was done with with an indigenous artist. And I think a lot of people are sort of missing the narrative of that. So
Is that you displaying it?
it's
Josh?
it's a different
Thank you.
version of the same sort of story. I think it's kind of a different aspect of the story as well.
I was gonna say, I had read where I thought the story, because of our bridge, was that they had woven some kind of a twine or rope or whatever together and then stretched it and then turned it into
Yes.
falls, so you get across, I guess, or something like that.
I did watch, there was an indigenous storyteller that had something posted through, and I forget the site, but it was like a news article sort of thing. So I have a narrative that I'm working from. I did not research things.
Any other questions?
I think I just want to add on to that a little. Amy's question is that I think it would be really important to make sure that we are consulting with if we're telling a tribal narrative, that we talk to the tribes about it if it's their narrative. I do think that this particular story isn't for every tribe that has a connection to the falls. I think it's in particular the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde's traditional story, from my understanding, but I'm not native. But I do think we should talk with them before we put something up.
Well, so one aspect to keep in mind here is that while we can approve the mural application itself, under First Amendment laws, we can't decide based on content the application itself. They have a right to put up the message, because it's not the city funding it, or it's not a city-owned building that it's going up on. So there are some things there that we just want to be a little careful with, but yeah, I agree that letting them know that it's going to be going up and stuff wouldn't be a bad idea, but again, it's private business, private ownership of that, so we have to, there's so much we can do or require them to do.
And having said that, it's beautiful.
Yes.
It is really beautiful, and it's
Yes.
gonna look really sweet in that spot, so.
I am an individual artist. I like the idea of the story that there's these creatures that seem like, on the face of it, you would not expect them to have this great power, but they work together to create something momentous. They bring together all the tribes, because there were lots of tribes that use this space. So that's sort of, that is my motivation. And it's not, I know it's not my story, but I feel a connection to the ideas of the story.
You were inspired by it.
Yes.
Mhm. Okay, any other questions?
Did you go through how the wings are gonna be made while I was out of the room?
How, what was?
How the wings will be made and the idea of selfies. I know I had to step out of the room for a moment, but that's a fun part of the piece.
Yeah, so we already have the metal wings. I believe they're like a galvanized aluminum that is, formed, created.
So it'll be a relief.
So it's a bit, that aspect of it is a little bit of a relief. So once the mural is completed, then the wings would be installed. And there's little brackets on the back of the wings, so they're not gonna be relief that much. I think the most they come off the wall is maybe an inch or two in most places. And it should be able to be very well secured.
How, can you go in a little bit how you're gonna secure them and how far out they will stay from the wall when complete? Do you have that information?
Sure. Anne, could I have you bring up a picture from the email I sent you?
Unfortunately, I'm not able to access the city system from where I'm
sent it
sitting.
to us.
Which I know is great.
I mean, I think this was in Anne's packet, right?
I didn't see it in the packet, but I can.
There was an image in the packet, yes.
So this,
I have trouble bringing it.
After speaking with Kathy, I talked with Public Works, and I think we said it was only gonna be coming up like a quarter of
There
an
you go.
inch or something very small. So, Public Works said that was not required to have a permit.
From Public Works.
Correct.
Uh,
She's getting an art mural permit, but not a public.
Sure. One thing that I would suggest, just because it's my department, I don't care, please reach out to the building department. Mostly because we're going to be interested in making sure this is a piece of public art with metal that is being attached. So I think of this in the equivalency of like a sign on a wall, that we want to make sure that it is attached to the wall correctly so that it doesn't fall off. And so I'm not quite sure whether or not a designated permit would be required, but please use that as a defined resource
Okay,
to double check with them. Because it is similar in, there are signs that only protrude a quarter of an inch, but they still need to get a permit because they're attached to a face that is
Yeah.
public facing and all that kind of stuff.
it's a liability if it falls off the wall, yeah.
Correct. Don't want to have a poor wing fall off and hit somebody.
so these are the wings, and yeah, they look to have, is it two different kind of textures on them? Or is that just the image itself?
So that's the backside of the wing,
Okay,
and then the other side has a more antiqued treatment to it. So with that one, you can see it's got sort of like a antiqued or a weathered look.
yeah. And I know we require anti-graffiti on the mural itself. On the wings, is there gonna be any kind of protective coating that keeps it from getting graffitied?
I'm not sure if my coating works on metal, but it
Yeah.
should. I can look into that. if
Okay.
it's,
Yeah, okay, and I take it, based on this example right here, the idea is to put the wings about human height?
Yeah.
So that they can stand in front of it? Okay,
so that they can be meadowlark in the moment.
got it, okay. Sounds good. Other questions?
I'm just curious, did you fabricate those wings?
I did not fabricate the wings, no.
Because they're oh God, that guy, here I am. He was waving at me, I'm not just hallucinating. He's back there. Anyway, they're super cool. No, so I was kind of hoping you had additional skills we didn't know anything about.
I have painted on metal before, but I have not manufactured or created metal stuff like this.
Okay. And then, based on your application too, it looks like there was gonna be minimal interference with like walkways and things like that for the duration of the painting.
Yep.
What's the timeline on the project? anticipated start date and,
I'm all set to start tomorrow. So, at most 2 weeks, but it's probably more like a week and a half.
okay. I think that's everything I had. And in the packet you sent out, the easement form did not appear signed, but I take it you have a signed copy?
Yes, that is correct, since in the interim between this went out, the property owner, who's actually here in the audience tonight, did come to City Hall and signed this easement agreement, and it
Okay.
has been recorded with the county.
Okay,
And we're gonna have to increase our mural fee because it would cost, it was $138. It was more than, it was more than I expected it to be $98 to record the fee, and it was like 130.
oh, okay. With the county.
So Kelly, on your suggestion that a permit might be needed to properly attach that, how's that gonna fall in with us sort of approving this mural?
So a traditional way to do it would be to approve the mural with conditions, to say that the design is good, the contract is good. Condition is a requirement to confirm communication with the building department and obtain any permits that would be required.
When they reach out to the building department, would you be willing to let them copy you in on that, just to, maybe you could provide insight to the building department if they have extra questions?
Absolutely, and I will email them all to ask the question today, and
Okay.
if I get the answer that now we don't need it, then that's an easy answer, but
Okay.
I just want to make sure.
Awesome.
I would also like to say that I intend on painting actual wings and not having just the metal wings, so that just in case there is an issue in which the
Okay.
wings are damaged and need to be repaired, replaced, what have you, there's still wings, and it's
Yeah.
not a sad wingless bird.
That would be sad. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Can we invite up a participant who submitted a
Yeah,
comment?
let's do that.
Betty, if you want to come on up.
Hello,
Hello.
please state your name and where you reside, just the city.
Betty Mum, Oregon City. I'm here on behalf of Gaffney Lane to support this project. It looks really awesome. And thank you, Anne, for letting us know it was on the agenda. And I appreciate everybody up here who has the art mind, because I definitely lack that. So I really appreciate you guys and the questions that you ask. So that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Betty.
Okay. And anything else from your side that you want to state for the record before we make a decision from your report?
No, you've got the information.
Okay. Okay, so based on feedback we received, is anyone willing to make a motion with a conditional approval that we get just final sign off by the building department on the placement of the wings, I'm blanking on the term, but the wings that will protrude from the wall? Anyone want to make a motion on
OCAC,
that?
I make a motion that we
Okay.
approve this mural with the condition that the artist contact and the building department. Okay, the building department to get a permit or find out if they need to get a permit and follow through if they do to install the wings.
Thank you. Is there a second? Kristen seconds. Okay. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed, say the same.
The same.
We will record that the application has been approved. Thank you very much, all of you, and thank you for bringing more art to Oregon City.
Can I ask a clarifying question? It could just be I have a lack of history with all of this.
Mhm.
So you said didn't really have a say in the content. So I have a question, like this one is very pleasant.
Mhm.
So in the future, if a private owner wants to put up a mural, we receive an application, the content could be objectionable or,
So if it's like obscene or something like that, it would be dealt with, I think, under signage law in Oregon City. So you can't have a obscene sign, say, posted on your business or something like that. So it wouldn't be something that we could,
or offensive.
or offensive, yes. It wouldn't be something that we could technically judge the application on. However, we would probably say, you know, if it's not gonna pass other codes, we would refer you to, others, municipal codes, we would refer you to, you know, talk to them, make sure that it's up to code there, and then come back to us. So that's how you would normally deal with it, but it's, because it's First Amendment and Oregon has very strict First Amendment laws, it's not something we can judge when it comes to a private building. The reason we have a little more, I think, input on the Railroad Avenue one is because that is municipal owned property. So we have proprietary rights there.
So if somebody came, didn't necessarily, if you wanted them to go then check with the signage, could you just then postpone and?
Yeah, we don't have to approve them in that meeting. We could say we don't want to do even a conditional approval. We'd rather you clear that up beforehand. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
If I may, and sincerest apologies. So, because of your question, I started looking at the mural code. And there is a criteria for public art murals that sort of identify what your guys' review procedures and criteria for authorization are for.
Yeah, that's in the, program guidelines, right?
And so it gives information about the types of materials that can be used. It also does state, though, that no public art mural may contain electrical components, three-dimensional structural elements, and employ electrical lights as part of the image, moving structural elements, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, so there's a piece in there that talks about, it can be painted on the wall, it can have metal, it can have, ceramic, so I think that might be a clarification that we need to get, but, I'm not sure if are you looking at the actual code itself?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know there's this part of it, because I looked at it too before we met today, just to like see, and I think those two things might, the one might need clarification on like what it means by protruding or something like that.
Yeah, and I think based off of your description where it's only like a quarter of an inch off, so it's really meant to be,
No, it's an inch.
even if it's an inch off.
Okay.
It is not meant to be protruding, so think about the wings as a three-dimensional and they're like leaning out into the public right of way. That would be a protruding three-dimensional element sort of thing. But you guys have more input into this code than I do, but I just wanted to make sure that we brought that up in case that was something you guys wanted to talk about.
Yeah, when we, because we had another conversation about this when we did the municipal code changes, and I think we talked about, the idea was not to have something like stretching out, like you said, into the right of way, but if something was, you know, three-dimensional where it was a combination of paint and say tiles on a wall, that would be okay, because again, it's not necessarily impeding the foot traffic in the public space.
I think that would meet the intent. There is a section that talks about public art mural shall be painted, or if it's ceramic, glass tile, or
That's the one,
metal,
yeah.
applied directly onto the surface of the building. So long as we have it, that is clear in the approval that it is not the 3D projectional, but just right on the
Yeah,
wall, I think you guys are fine. Just wanted to bring it up.
No, I understood, appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no, I appreciate that insight, Kelly, and when I was speaking with Public Works, you know, because it doesn't go into the right of way, because that wall is at an angle, so the part that does come out, that little bit is actually not over the sidewalk, it's over a piece of it's still, there's, some
Private
walls at an
property.
angle, so it's still on the
Yeah,
property, yeah.
okay. Awesome. Any other questions based on that? Okay.
Exciting, we have 2 new murals in one summer, I love it.
And welcome, Commissioner Amanda Dexter. And then, next up is approval of the, Oregon Sales Commission bylaw updates. So, those were sent out last time during our meeting, red line and, clean versions. It listed out to the proposed changes we had to the bylaws. We didn't get any, we got a few, I guess, comments in the last, meeting, but I haven't received any other comments since then. Were there any comments or additional amendments that people wanted to make or suggest to those, at this time? Okay. With that then, is there a motion to approve the bylaw updates as, drafted?
I move to approve the bylaw updates as drafted.
Perfect. Second on that motion?
I second.
I heard Kristen first, but that might be my left ear working
Right.
faster than my right. Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those approves, or, oh, that was you, Omen. I was like, I heard a little thing in my ear. Okay, all those opposed, say the same. Okay, we'll consider the changes to the bylaws approved and the bylaws updated. Thank you, everyone, for that. Next up is financial support initiative. So what this topic is a few things. We, as a group, part of our strategic document was to look at ways, under goal number 1, was to look for ways to try and increase, or maybe a better term is to solidify outside funding for future projects beyond just our budgeted amount. We know that if we just took the budget we're given by the city, you wouldn't be able to do maybe more than 1, 2, or 3 projects in a given year with that, given the cost of materials and time and labor and all that goes into it. So really looking for some outside sources for funding and getting some thoughts and ideas and processes put in place around those items. So a couple things that have come up, Amy brought to my attention, and I can let, if you have anything you wanted to add to this, but the first piece that we're looking at, there is a Metro Placemaking grant that will go live August 14th, and then it's the application is due by August 2nd, and they're between 5 and 15.
Say that again?
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Oh, sorry, October 2nd.
Oh.
Read my note wrong here, sorry. October 2nd, August 14th to October 2nd of this year. So it's coming up, $5,000 to $15,000. And I think art projects fall within the various categories within the grant. But it might be a good opportunity that we could look at for funding another project, either if we wanted to, say, apply it to the lamprey statue, if we wanted to apply it to another statue. But getting a team to start looking at that grant, looking at the guidelines for that grant, and come back with a proposal for applying for that grant would be, I think, key number 1. In addition to that, like I said, bringing in starting to look at other financial streams to help fund future projects going forward. And a couple ideas around that that we have mentioned in the strategic document was grants. So I know the city is going to want to have, its opportunity to review grants that we apply for, and there's probably a good process we could work out with the city of, okay, we have a grant coming up. What do you want to see? What check boxes do you want to hit before we apply? And make sure that things are all good with there. donations. So if people wanted to donate funds or actual assets to a public art program, take, for example, the statue, Lee Kelly statue. We don't currently have a means for accepting that, and we should work out a means of accepting those kinds of donations through the city.
That's the next one, art management procedures.
No, that's different.
It is?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll get to that one in a second, but it is slightly different in terms of art management procedures is just pure acquisition, management, and removal of artwork.
Which this would be,
Well, yes and no. I mean, acquisition would be standard across any new piece of public art that we receive, whereas donations could be, is slightly a subcategory of that. So when we do art management, I'm talking about like when we put our new mural up, what's the process for making sure it's taken care of, that it's recorded properly everywhere, and that then if we ever need to take it down, what's the process for doing that? This is if we get a donation, so it's kind of a subcategory of that entire art management process doc.
and I'm just thinking differently. I was thinking, one is grants, how to bring in money. The other is, how do we acquire,
But a donation could be money too.
it could be, and so that could be, I could see where that is, but I'm almost seeing, here's the reason why. I'm really interested in the other one. I like the art management
Well-
one.
Since we approved the agenda, can we go in order and circle back to that one?
But I think it's in the other one.
Well, you're right in that I think it overlaps a bit, but in terms of this, what I'm trying to get to with this group of 2 to 3 people that I think could go out and prioritize the Metro placement grant first, but then come back with proposals over the next several months of, after, working with the finance department to put together plans of attack for future grant writing, donation processing, sponsorships. We could look at sponsorships of public art. And then even though in today's political climate, it might not be great, I don't think we should just necessarily throw it out, but percentage for the arts programs as well. We should look into that and see what might be possible, because those do fund a lot of good art projects when they're deployed properly. So overall, just putting a few people to focus on basically financial processes and future financial streams that we could utilize for funding more art projects. So I'll stop there and see if there's further questions.
I have questions.
Yeah.
Does the city have a gift acceptance policy?
I do not know for sure. I'm sure they do.
Okay, and can we accept gifts from individuals? I thought we couldn't.
Well, so we can't fundraise for ourselves. I know that. So if we wanted to do a fundraiser for a mural on city property, we couldn't do that. But in terms of someone just saying, I want to give the Arts Commission, $20,000, which would be great. I don't think there's currently a process for that I don't know if the city's gift policy means that it would go into a general fund regardless. And then maybe we need to talk to finance about
Designating or restricting?
designating, how does that work? And I think having those conversations with the finance department would be helpful. Also, the city is starting to gear up for budget season. So it's another good time to start getting our things in focus for going to them and asking, at least, keeping the funding the same, if not more, if they want to see more art projects and stuff come out. But tasking a few people with taking these different topics related to financials and bringing back proposals to the group is kind of what I'm kind of leaning towards or gearing us up for here. But I wanted to see what other people's opinions are on that process. If they think it should just be one-offs that we handle as an entire group, if they want to do this kind of task force style system, or if they have other ideas, so.
Well, I think it's a good idea to come up with a diversified revenue stream development plan. I have experience writing them and doing them, but I will also be straightforward that like, I don't like grant writing. And so like my skill set is really with individual donors or like private foundations, not necessarily like public funding methods like Metro or like the city of Oregon City. I'm happy to be on the task force, but I don't want to sign myself up and then become the de facto grant writer.
Well,
I'm just
so here's
saying
another thing,
that.
you could bring back to us, say, here's what it would cost to go hire a grant writer.
Yeah,
And we could look at what the cost of doing that would be, if that's something that the city allows, you know, and doing it that way just takes the burden off of us a bit, but again, I don't know all the rules and stipulations around finances. I know there's probably a lot more things there than meet the eye when you first look at it and you think, oh, that should be simple, but when it comes to municipal finances, I think there's lots of codes and rules and things that,
Yeah.
so having those conversations, this group would mainly be having those conversations with the finance department to make sure, yeah, that would work.
we know
or
what
yeah.
our lanes are.
Yeah, we wanna
and
know
then-
what our lanes are.
Yeah,
And I'm happy to reach out to Matt. We can compile a list of questions and I'll finalize the list with you, Josh, or anyone else who wants to look, and we can have someone from the finance team come back. I'm almost certain though that if somebody were to make a donation and says it has to be given and spent to the Arts Commission, that we wouldn't have to worry about that disappearing into a general fund deposit if it were so.
I would hope not, I would
Yeah.
hope not, but yeah, it just depends, or if there's a timeline stipulation on using it, or, yeah, whatever it is, I don't know.
So just for full clarity, if somebody donates something for somebody or for a particular thing, if the city accepts that donation, it is restricted funding. It doesn't just go into a pot. It has to be tracked, it has to be identified, there has to be documentation to identify how that funding was spent in compliance with how it was given.
Okay,
So that is not something that you all have to worry about, that it's just you guys are gonna bring in a general fund revenue source for you, and hey, thanks for paying for my position.
well, you know, you never know, I've heard of horror stories in other cities and stuff but I'm not saying that would happen
Yeah.
here, but yeah.
But that's not a thing, and when it is donated, it has to be cataloged appropriately, and we have auditors that audit us every single year
Yeah,
to demonstrate where each of the funds need to go.
yeah. One, I mean, and that's like, I think more on cash, when it comes to, assets, right? Someone donates a statue. How and where and that's displayed is one thing, and then what happens if the city decides it no longer, it's gonna renovate the area that it's in, they're no longer gonna be placed there, does it get replaced or what have you, and there could be other complications with a physical asset versus cash, but
or can you decline it if someone's trying to clean out something?
yeah.
So, yes, you can decline assets. And all of that is contingent upon the terms and conditions of the person's donation,
Okay,
right? Which
Yeah.
is where it will be hard for you all to say, this is the exact path we're going to take. Because it's all going to be dependent on, do you have somebody that has this incredible collection and they want to give it to Oregon City, and they're going to have specific stipulations that they want it in specific parks and to be displayed and then moved and blah, 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 right? Like, all of that is going to be contingent on the donator. Unless we are the ones that are commissioning it, then it is our asset and we get to do with it as we will, as appropriate, right?
Yeah.
So it is going to be a negotiation and an acceptance process. And that'll have to include more than just, frankly, the Arts Commission itself. Because if it is a physical asset and it needs to go into a park, the Parks Department needs to review it to determine whether it has the capacity to maintain it. And is there a safe place to put it? And are we gonna ensure that it's not vandalized, right? So all of that is more of a, frankly, when it happens, then we can all do an all hands on deck and try to get an answer and get people online that's going to help negotiate through the process. I think your guys' role would be more of the marketing side of the equation. Are we in the market to try to take on some of these assets that people are trying to bring a closure to their ownership of?
Yeah.
To put it.
No, and I think that's all good, and I agree that we won't be able to like solve all of our problems up front, but having a good understanding of what it's gonna, the steps and process. Hey, someone reached out. Okay, what do we do first? We alert city staff, we alert finance department, and we start a task group to figure out what the terms will be or what have you, right? Evaluation, all that, site search if they don't have a specific spot. And just kind of laying that out a little bit. It might not be a full, like, detailed plan, but it's at least, the workings of something that we can be like, okay, we've got this coming in. And then we can go, like you said, to the marketing side and say, look, Oregon City Arts Commission is happy to accept donation of statues or whatever. If there's criteria we want to maybe limit or set parameters around, like we don't want just any painting off of a wall or what have you, then because it becomes a financial burden then. So we might want to set parameters around that and stuff as well. And then,
I think that is a great first step for you.
yeah, so. Other thoughts, questions?
So you're gonna kill me, but that's why I'm over here. I do see. Oh, that's right, I forgot the gavel. I am very interested in that because it is part of acquiring and deaccessioning, which would be our plan for what our art inventory actually is, which just happens to be art management procedures. So, I'm just saying.
I'm putting in management versus financials in my little list here.
That would be good, because I see the other as it really is like what you're talking about. It's bringing in new money. Where are the sources that we might get money in? Please don't make me write those grants, but we found somebody who will.
And maybe it's researching too what others have done and see if we could duplicate similar things here. There's probably a lot of creative things out there. Maybe are there ways we could even raise money for our programs that aren't, help raise money for our programs that aren't necessarily under our complete control. So like the library runs or does community development have art classes at the community center and stuff like that? I don't know who runs them, I can't remember. But
Pioneer Center?
if there's what?
The Pioneer Center runs them?
Don't they have arts classes there? Yeah. So that's under all parks, right? Or is it under community?
That's under Parks.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, those kinds of things. Is there other ways even too that we can help fund other art-related programs in Oregon City? Or partner with them on funding opportunities? I don't know. But all that kind of all falls into finance. So I would love to get a group working on that and kind of coming back with some ideas. And, it doesn't have to be like every meeting you have to come back with something, but kind of just keep on track of, a few things here and there, and when things pop up, let us know and we can talk about it, kind of thing. So
I love fundraising. Like, it's like my career and my passion. Like, I like doing it. So
I don't think I've ever heard that before.
And I've like written gift acceptance policies, and I've created development strategic plans, so like I can do all of that.
Wow.
okay, well,
I don't know if I need a group,
I feel like we have a team lead.
frankly, because I
And you
think
don't
that
need
might,
a group, you're hired.
the group might just be hard to keep everyone aligned. Why don't I just take a first run at it, and if we can get a plan going, then I can have meetings with the financial people and work with Anne and kind of report back on what our options are and where people might want to plug themselves in, like reviewing gift acceptance policies and like doing an edit on things or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, so to be honest, I was going to throw my hand up for the finance thing just because I have a background in finance.
Great.
And I would be happy to help out. But if you want to take lead and then, say, this is where I need a second set of eyes or something on something, I'm happy to do that too, if that's the way you want to run it. But yeah, I do think, part of why I like having multiple people is you never know with a group like this. Sometimes things come up and they're like, I just can't do it anymore. Sorry, I got to drop. And losing that legacy knowledge is a big drain. And so if we can keep, multiple people kind of familiar with different areas, then it helps kind of level us out in terms of our group knowledge and our skill set across the board, right?
Perfect.
So,
Great, let's partner up.
okay. Anyone else interested? I'm not gonna say no one else can join, but,
Anyone else interested? Too bad.
Next.
okay, I feel like, we have our marching orders in, we'll start looking down this list, putting together, ideas and come back to you, and I'll follow your lead, Alexis, on that. Awesome, okay, back to Amy's favorite topic, art management. So where this comes from is under our first, goal as well. An art management procedures document, was an idea we came up with last year when we were talking about the salmon bench. So right now, under our powers in the charter of the city municipal code, we don't technically have authority to manage the art once it is acquired by the city. That's typically done by different departments, and I think part of the issue there is that the right and left might not always understand what the other, right and left hands might not always understand what the other ones are doing or where things come up. And having a process in place to make sure that new pieces are adequately recorded, are, added. We have that art map thing. I don't think that new pieces have gone up there very quickly. I don't know who manages that. I think it's maybe through GIS or something like that. The insurance is done on them, that, however the city wants to insure them, that we do have the proper protection so that if something happens, like with the, was it Eternal Embrace? Was the statue out there?
Eternal love.
Yeah,
It was called Ancient Voices.
Ancient Voices. That one, if something happens to it, that it, just probably protected. Just a process, a checklist of, here's the things that need to happen when a new piece is brought up, that we make sure we're promoting it, that kind of thing. Once it's in the inventory of public art, that it's maintained. So I know I've heard from the McLaughlin Neighborhood Association, they do a cleanup here on 7th Street periodically throughout the year. And there's a statue down by the fire station that I guess they've offered multiple times to clean as part of the cleanup process, but I've been told, no, Public Works will work on it, but evidently Public Works never cleans it. So getting in with them to kind of figure out, okay, what's the cleaning schedule for some of these pieces, because they will need regular upkeep, otherwise they do deteriorate over time. And then finally, the last piece of that was the de-ascension of public art. So when a piece does become past the point of, repair or below maybe a level of quality that we're comfortable with in calling public art, that we have a process for taking it out of our inventory and, deciding what to do with it then. So all of this is what we need to come up with as a plan, a program plan for this, a proposal, what have you. And we'll need to take it eventually to the city commission and say, look, we think this is something that Oregon City Arts Commission, if we all agree, would like to put in place to help make sure that the art that we do bring in for public consumption is properly maintained, recorded, and kept up to the fullest extent that we can. So that's kind of the idea behind this art management document. And to your point, it does kind of relate to the financials and stuff like that, but it kind of encompasses start to finish of the life of a piece of art kind of thing. So, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, but I think that again, acquisition would be a part of that. So understanding the rules for how to acquire something and the steps that would be involved, I think belong on that, not just the ones that we have.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure both of these areas will reference one another multiple times as we go through it all. So yeah. Other thoughts on putting together another little group to kind of go talk about the art management process and putting together a proposal that we could take eventually to the city commission for their consideration.
It's a good idea. It seems like it's a gap that's missing, if people are wanting to have things managed on their, cleaned on public property.
I guess I'll make one point too, just to be clear. My idea is not that it's us, you know, like maintenance. It's not us buying buckets to go clean the statues ourselves, but to make sure there's good communication or communication processes in place with Public Works and or other departments that are dealing with it, so that it does just flow smoothly. But yeah.
I'm happy to take the lead on it.
And I think you had talked to
Nora.
Nora. I was going to say Dora. Nora at the Clackamas Community College, and they have their own kind of document. So it might be a pretty, I don't want to say light lift, but it might be a pretty good starting point to get their information and go and look at what they've done, and then build upon that, and then talk to Public Works and these other departments, and see what makes the most sense. But go ahead, Aiden.
And I do know in the asset report, so thank you for offering to take the lead on that, Amy. In the report that Kathy prepared when she did the public art assessment report, there are steps and recommendations for which pieces do require additional certain maintenance. The future flow, which is in the foyer here at City Hall, Public Works, they dust that. There doesn't require anything more than a dust broom. But like, what is it? What's the moon rising on 7th? That's marble.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and they don't want to, so that's a special, they don't want to touch that because they said we don't have the right equipment. So we could go through the list together and identify.
Yeah, no. I think for me, when I joined, we didn't have a list of art. I think I asked you, I'm like, hey, cool, Arts Commission, what's our art? Well, and it was like, I can't believe that the Arts Commission isn't a place where you could go and get her report, basically, in some form. And so expanding that, whatever maintenance might be required or not, in addition to that, finding out what it takes to accept, because I'm very excited by Kristen and her connections. If we have the ability to take on what was accession, what would that look like? And then, as you were saying, de-accession. Because there are a lot of interesting pieces that, especially in the library, that you looked at, that maybe they no longer fit the criteria that we want. So somebody needs to determine that. How do you do that? How do you make a recommendation for saying, we don't really want that as part of our inventory, so we get to take it off? And then I think that would be pretty helpful. We would look like we know stuff.
Well, we hopefully would know stuff, but yes. Any other thoughts, comments, questions?
Who wants to help?
But after August.
Yeah, and I think for this document, in my mind, and it's all up to you what you want to do, but I was thinking, roughly we meet with the city commission once a year. In late May, early June, it'd be a good opportunity then to bring it forward. So if you think in terms of that timeline, you started at, say, give yourself a month after August too. Like November, you'd have several months there still to put together a proposal and come back and get it kind of approved by us to bring forward to them. But don't have to be that timeline either. It can be, we could ask for a special one-off meeting or something.
If I may.
Yeah.
So just a couple things to think through when you're considering doing all this kind of stuff. Number one, please use Anne as your asset and point of contact for the city. I just want us to make sure that we are funneling the information so that we are just as much as in the know as you are, so we can also help guide the conversation, to bring in different perspectives that may not have been automatically thought of. She'll be a great asset for that. Secondly, as you guys are thinking about asset management, and as you're thinking about trying to ensure that we have longevity for some of these art pieces, you may have to reconsider or reevaluate your criteria for approving or accepting art as well, right? So thinking about the marble piece that you all were just talking about, that Public Works doesn't want to touch. They are our operations and maintenance ability for the city. And so if it becomes a city asset, they're the ones that are going to have to be the participatory agent to clean it. Unless you all want to use some of your funds to then have it clean, sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
And so you're gonna just be prepared to have that thought process of, when you set that policy, you're gonna have to consider modifying some of your policies in terms of what you're willing to accept. Think of the wings that we just had to take a look at. That's beautiful, that's an awesome concept and a great idea. How many times are they gonna have to be polished or anti-rust or replaced, right? And so that is something that is a continual thought process that the city is going to have to do and manage. And as we continue to grow, it will be a continued operational need on Public Works. So just make sure that that's a holistic thought process for you all.
Well, yeah, and I mean, part of the point of this is to have those conversations with them, because right now, I don't know if they even think about that kind of thing. And I mean, also just getting them more into the fold, because what was the one? Oh, so technically their bathroom, public bathroom down by the bottom of the elevator would constitute a mural under the code, but they never applied for a mural application either, because it's a image on a thing. It would fall under mural code.
There's a painting on the bathroom. I think it's
There's
a wrap. It's a vinyl wrap.
kind of thing.
Oh.
I think it technically falls under mural code. But again, part of one of our other things was partnerships. And so we need to start communication links with some of these other departments that we interact with or will be interacting with as we acquire more art and stuff too. So I'm totally open to, Anne being our liaison, working with her to pass along communications or to help arrange communications and stuff like that with them, meetings, to kind of just figure these things out. What are they comfortable cleaning, right? What materials would they be like, I don't think we want to touch that, or no, we're fine with all of these except white marble.
I think it would be really good to meet with them too. I think meeting directly to have a back and forth, I think would be really good.
And let them know what kind of art's going up and what it would take.
Or just talk about the marble. We get you're afraid of it, so are we. So we won't do marble. But, to get their direct feedback of what's important to them, I think, because the proposal is really just to create a proposal. Like, how do we even start doing this? And if they're a key player, then absolutely.
Yep.
It's not-
We can arrange that.
Awesome. Next up then, and I think we're on schedule pretty good, so good, is Creative Action Lab date selection. So, if you recall, the last Creative Action Lab happened in April. And we had it over at the Willamette Falls Studios, and I see they're getting a new roof, which is good news. But we were looking to aim to do another one in November. And I wanted to throw out some options for people and see if these work for people now. We can get it on the calendar, we can lock down a space, and then we can, as we approach November, we can start sending out invites. But I was looking at November 4th and 5th, which is a Wednesday or a Thursday, and we would do an evening based on feedback we received, maybe a 6 to 8 p.m. Session, or the following week, November 11th or 12th. If people have their calendars easily available and want to look now, or
I could do all days, but Neighborhood Association meets on the 5th, so I couldn't do that.
Okay.
Those all work for me at this point.
Okay. And I will work with Ann to reach out to Myra and Rebecca as well, since they're not here. I know Myra missed the last one, so I want to make sure that whatever date we pick works for her. Amanda, on your side, do you have any conflicts with those dates?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Oh. So, November 4th, November 11th, or November 12th.
Are we picking one, or do we need all three to be available?
If you have a preferred one, but we're just right now checking to see which dates are not available of those three for people.
Well, it's so far out that all three are available for me, but I would probably prefer the 4th, because I know that the 11th, 12th is gonna be like a 3 or 4 day weekend for me, and I'll probably want to leave town.
Okay.
That's better than
But, you know, I can make an exception if needed.
Okay. So leaning towards the 4th. You said that works for you, Joyce?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. So I will reach out to Rebecca and Myra and confirm that the 4th works for both of them. And then if that's the case, then we'll send out an invite for that just to get it on people's calendar, and we'll start looking at spaces for it. We can go back to the Willamette Falls. There's the community room, I believe, at the library, and then there's also just the community center as well. So.
And will
Awesome.
it look like last time where we're essentially kind of hosting it?
Say that again.
Will it look like last time where we're essentially hosting it?
Yeah, co-hosting it with the Travel Oregon City.
Well, I meant just that it's an official meeting so that we can all
Oh,
be
yes, it'll be
there.
a public meeting,
Right.
so we'll announce as a public meeting so that we can all participate and not violate open meeting laws. Okay. Awesome. Okay, next up is the Oregon City Arts Commission Mural RFQ update. So I'll pass it over to Alexis to go review that.
Okay. I think you all saw it in the packet that Anne sent out. I see that there is a comment from Anne in here in this printout, and Josh, I think that was your edit about the diverse backgrounds on page 3.
No, that was,
Yes, that was a comment that I had in the version, and it was mainly just, not necessarily that I cared what it meant, but just that maybe clarify what it meant in the text. So when you say diversified background, are you talking like a variety of art mediums or art projects or what?
Where's this?
It's page
on
3.
page 3.
On page 3, it's in the gray area.
Well, I think the Anne was the one that had the comment what you mean, but Josh, I think that was your addition to my edit. I didn't put that in there. The diverse backgrounds. That was when you gave me back feedback and edits. I think you added that in, and then Anne had the question about what it meant. So I just want to make sure that I'm respecting
I agree.
what your
What does it mean?
intent
I had a
was
question on that.
when you
I don't know
put
why
it
I
in.
I think, I mean, that you hear the term diverse get thrown around a lot, and I think if you're trying to say you want to encourage people of color to apply or artists of multicultural backgrounds, then you should just say that.
Yeah, and I guess that's my question is what do we mean by diverse backgrounds? I guess if I put that in there, then I didn't realize
Is that
Was
like
housing
different types of mediums? or-
yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
trying to figure out. What do we mean by diverse background? So either we can.
Diverse artistic backgrounds, or is it diverse cultural backgrounds?
Yeah. So the full thing, this RFP is open to professional artists residing in the Pacific Northwest. Artists from diverse backgrounds and those with experience in community engaged public art are encouraged to apply. I guess maybe I was thinking of it as more from an artistic perspective, like a diverse background in different types of art or different projects, because it's tied to that same sentence of community engaged public art. But happy to make a modification based on what other people feel we want to promote.
So we're encouraging a trombone player to create a mural?
Well,
I mean,
I guess that
what are we
goes to,
saying?
that goes to the philosophy of, do you believe someone with a background who can, in music, in art, in theater, has maybe a way of expressing those things across multiple, dimension or medium.
Different approach.
I'm just saying, maybe it's more diversity of projects, so maybe it's a mural on a wall, a mural on a street, a mural on a rooftop, maybe it's the types of art that
Okay,
they
because
do.
you say that in the second, I mean, generally when it is called out in a contract, so-and-so is encouraged to apply, you're basically saying, we really want you to, and if we're not saying, I mean, if we really want a trombone player, then we can just say that, but in the second sentence, you said transferable skills, large-scale interior painting, so I don't know if we need it, if that's what you meant, because you're already saying it.
Well, again, I don't remember putting in the diverse background, but if I
It could be
did,
wrong too. It could have also been just part of the template. Like if I didn't put it in there as like a purposeful thing,
that
so
might be the case, it
it
was
might
part
have
of
just
the
been part of the
template that we
template.
originally had that was put together, so.
But what if we said artists with experience in community engaged public art are encouraged to apply?
I'm happy with that too. I don't think it necessarily is,
Okay.
it's necessary in there. Especially with the things below is in the second, in the last sentence of that paragraph as well. But what are other people think?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that the spirit of it is that we want people that like maybe don't see themselves as ever doing a mural to like consider applying, right? Like that's what the general spirit is that if you've got experience with like commercial sign painting and this might be your first mural, don't be discouraged from applying. That's how I read it, how we have it now. And I like that. It's an RFQ process. We want to see what people's art looks like and what they can bring, and then we're going to choose finalists from that process. So like, I like encouraging people that we're open to people that are maybe taking a leap of faith and an artistic risk, that we support that.
Oh, Amanda.
Do we feel like, can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Do we feel like, in like adding that language though that encourages folks who haven't, done a mural before, do you think that would discourage people who have?
Could you clarify? Do you mean if Kathy Rowe is over here going, I do murals, but she looks at this, she says, wait a minute. You're encouraged, well, at least not trombone players anymore, but large-scale interior painting, you think that's going to discourage her?
No, that's what I'm thinking, that's what I'm wondering, is if people who do have experience might say, oh, well, they've added this language, so maybe I should just not apply. I don't know, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
You think they will take it as they're gonna give, more
Hey Mandy,
weight to.
is there any way I'm sorry, Josh, could you please, is there any way to make yourself a little louder?
I don't know if I can.
No, I don't think she can.
She's coming through his computer is the problem.
Holy.
No, she's not coming through my computer, is she?
It
sounds like
just
It does.
Can you hear me?
No, it's not through my computer.
I can hear
There's a
it
little
really.
tiny something over
It's
there.
coming through my speaker
Yeah, I
here.
can hear it in this.
Yeah.
But
Here,
I
talk
can
now.
now. Oh,
Talk now a minute and see if it works.
It must be all the ocean in between us.
Yeah.
That sounded a little better.
that's a little.
No, I don't, I can just mute myself and.
No, I mean, you're bringing up a really good point that I think
Here
we
we
need.
go. I was just suggesting that, like, if, maybe we want to just make sure that how we word it is good, takes into consideration that we wouldn't make someone else feel like, oh, well, they're trying to find someone who hasn't done this before, someone who's brand new. I won't apply because that's what they're looking for, like, that's my only thought on that.
How about artists from various backgrounds?
Oh, I just still don't want to even, it's mushy. I just we're saying, okay, they're open to professional artists with experience in community engaged public art. And then third one is where we're getting with emerging artists also. Is
What
it
if we-
okay to
what
ask
if-
the mural list in our audience? Instead of guessing?
If
I
you
think
guys
yes,
Please
wanna
do
come up
speak
and
into a
give little
microphone so that Mr.
experience that
Steve
you
doesn't
had
come
as a
back.
working artist doing murals.
So if I come across an RFQ that says people with diverse backgrounds are encouraged to apply, I see that as they are looking for someone, they're going to potentially give preference to someone who is diverse in some way. That could be ethnic, gender, what have you. And it's not gonna make me not apply, but it could make me change the language that I use when applying. Because you would usually request an artist statement, a bio, a description of the artwork, plan, what have you. So it may make me think about all of that information, all of that writing that would go into my RFQ, RFP.
Okay.
If you are looking for different experience levels, then talk about experience. If you are wanting to encourage an emerging artist who has less experience, then say that. If it's more about experience or art type, art style, then say those things. I would recommend not using the word diversity because it is a loaded word.
So if we got rid of it like we were talking about before, but said, and then just kept that emerging artists with transferable skills in there, would that be detrimental to you? Would you think that we were only looking for emerging artists?
I can read it again if that would help.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we were, based on Amy's recommendation, the RFP is open to professional artists residing in the Pacific Northwest. Artists with experience in community-engaged public art are encouraged to apply. Emerging artists with transferable skills, such as large-scale interior paintings or commercial sign painting, are highly encouraged to apply.
That sounds like you have both aspects. You have the more experience to the emerging, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Does it help to say emerging? I don't know if that means anything to us. To me, it seems like the meat of this is people with transferable skills who might do interior painting or commercial sign painting. I'm not sure emerging is,
So if we just said artists with transferable skills such as
I know
large-scale
that, but
interior
emerging
painting.
is in front of artists.
I say, but you recommend if you removed emerging.
Yeah.
So it's just artists with transferable skills such as large-scale interior painting or commercial sign painting are highly encouraged to apply.
How does that sit?
Emerging is code for less than 5 years experience.
Yeah.
So,
Up and
No, I've used it a lot. I hear what you're saying, and it is funny. You want to throw everything in there to show that you're really nice people, but it doesn't help if you're not specific. Like, what are we really looking for? And we want to open it up to people that have transferable skills. That's great. Saying it just like that is great. In my opinion, it confuses it.
transferable skills.
So like a large-scale interior or commercial sign painter, for instance, who says, you know what, I've always wanted to do a mural.
Yeah, maybe someone has a background, they've done murals inside of
Thanks.
banks and stuff, but they've never done one on an exterior
Such
wall
as,
or,
okay.
yeah.
Alexis, does that set okay with you?
This is not my baby. I just want to keep saying that. Like, I'm trying to take all the feedback from the group and put it into a document. I don't have strong opinions about this besides making sure we're representing what the commission wants as a whole. Yeah.
Amanda, does that work with what you were trying to say as well?
Yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
So she just.
Good catches, everybody. That was cool.
Awesome,
You have to stay there.
okay. Thank you. Alexis, anything else that you wanted to review on the RFP?
No, just open for questions or comments. That I just wanted to make sure we called that one out right away because it was the one, Anne's comment within the document.
Was a good one.
I mean, I have some questions for you guys that we need to talk through, I think.
Go
Okay. I think the thing that we don't have fully listed out here, and I don't think we have to decide before we vote on deploying this, because I think we gotta get through this tonight so that we can hit our timeline, our schedule, is what is the review process for the RFQ and the RFP? Like, is it a committee? Is it the entire commission? Do we want to keep it at commission level meetings? Based on the timeline, if we're doing the deadline of the RFQ by September 12th, our commission meeting is the following week, September 17th. So we all could, in theory, review and have it be part of a public comment. There originally had been some discussion in the last round of this iteration of doing a subcommittee that included some commissioners, but not enough to make it a public meeting, and also some community members. But I think we were trying to do that in the spirit of time, of moving it forward and not having to wait for a commission meeting, because we were on that tight deadline that we were trying to originally hit. So there's that, I think, to take into consideration, but it doesn't have to be decided tonight to move forward with this. And then the other thing I think, and that, Josh, with your finances and process background, I think we might need to approve a budget modification, because we said that the RFP, that is going to be a $25,000 flat fee, but we have that $300 for each of the finalists that we choose to move into the RFP, and we said we'd choose 2 to 3. So we might need to add between $600 and $900 into our budget on that.
So how I would handle that is, based on the review of all the applications that come in, we say we pick 2 or 3. We also at that time approve a budget for the $300 per artist.
Okay.
Separate from the $25,000.
Okay.
$25,000 will be the final awarded amount. And yeah, that's kind of how I would handle that.
Okay,
so
great.
It doesn't have to be necessarily referenced in here.
Okay.
We do reference the stipend though, so people know that that is
It is.
available.
Okay. And then my third question is, how do we roll this out? I have no idea. Where do we post it? Who does that? I don't know. I've never done this before. Is it the city? Do we have to put in a request for the trail?
So in the past, we've used the city's website to promote RFPs. Now that we have our own website, we can put it there.
Okay.
We can also put it on the city site. I'm sure they'll let us do that.
Arts Alliance?
Yeah, we will send it out to groups that we know have artists to share with their groups, so.
I'm pretty sure too, there's a directory of who we sent it to when we've issued out RFPs in the past.
Oh, like we can send it as a listserv, like an
Right,
email? Okay.
yeah, so like as was just suggested, the Clackamas County Arts Alliance, we can send it out to RAC, we can send it out,
Try.
yeah, so there's 5 or 6 places for sure that we would wanna hit. And then, I mean, if you wanted to purchase an ad someplace, if you wanted to go out of the state, I mean, it just depends on how far afield you wanna go.
I can work with the city to get it on socials.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah, we can work with Jared on that.
absolutely.
okay.
I mean, we do want to be a little careful because we want to focus on that professional artist, so hitting those groups first is priority, but you never know. There could be someone who's a professional artist who's not a member of any of these groups that in the Pacific Northwest. So we just, yeah. Whoa.
Just lost power.
Yeah,
The what?
all of our screens went blue. So, yeah, I think in terms of a marketing plan, there
Oh,
goes,
we're back.
someone on the other desk messing with the cords.
It's that guy.
So yeah, we totally have I think initial group of people we can pass it out to and say, go, and then if we identify other means of getting it out, we can, for sure, add to that.
Will I coordinate with you, Ann, on that?
Yeah.
Okay,
work with
thanks.
Ann, and then we can work with Rebecca when she's back about, putting it on the public website as well.
Great. Those were all my questions.
Okay, so that was.
I have a question.
The marketing side, okay, do you mind if we finish?
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought she was done.
Well, she's done asking the question, but we haven't addressed the questions, and maybe addressing the questions. Well, okay, let's ask your question, and then we might.
Throw the questions into the pot, all the questions at once.
So the other thing you brought up was the review process. So right now, according to this, what do we have it set up? The RFQ would go out August 1st,
August 4th.
August 4th. Then by September 12th, the initial applications have been received, and we would then plan to review those at September 17th meeting, selecting 2 to 3 finalists. Those 2 to 3 finalists would be given a one-time $300 stipend to then create a proposal for the art piece that they would have to turn in by
We haven't,
sometime in October, yeah.
No, that we will, yeah, it's TBD on that one.
Oh, we actually have the finals will be announced in October, so then, okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm cool if we could do it 2 ways. We could say, if the group's in agreement that we want to bring in a few external people to give their opinions on this as a way to kind of bridge build and, draw in other people to public art, facing things in Oregon City. We could either bring them in at phase 1 review, or we could bring them in at phase 2 review. I don't know which one people think would make the most sense. But
The latter, I think it would be too confusing up front, in my opinion.
during the phase 1 review,
If the phase 1 where that's on September 17th, right? And we're gonna choose 3, then I
up
think.
to 3.
Up to 3, then I think it would be easier to take feedback on those 3. That's just me.
When they put together their proposed mural
Yeah, because we're gonna have more
concept.
meat, we're gonna have like, these are the serious ones.
Okay. Let them judge based on the actual artwork, not on the qualification of the artist. Okay,
I think that's our job.
that's one. Anyone think the opposite way?
The only, I'm taking a page out of Mandy's book to play devil's advocate a little bit, because I think that creates good dialogue, is that we were all appointed on this commission to represent the community members of Oregon City. So do we need to go outside of this commission and bring in other people? And how do we do that process in a way that is equitable and inclusive enough to make sure that we're having everyone who wants to be at the table? I worry about that process. And I worry about creating more process to then create more process.
Yeah, it's a good point.
She's got a good point.
I'm not trying to exclude the public,
No, it's
but
not.
we were commissioned to represent the public, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
I agree with Alexis, I feel like that adds just another layer and another step, and maybe that's not something that we really need.
For this one, but we do want to do it, Mandy, for the one that we were talking about, that with the street mural, with working with that group who's professional at doing community-wide engagement and the longer. Remember we talked about that one for the street, I can't remember the name of the group, Amanda, that you know.
Yeah, that's, why can I think of it?
I can't think of their name either.
Intersection repair, street repair.
Yeah, they're,
City repair. Yeah, so we do
City
want to
repair?
do an engagement with yeah, with the whole community for something.
Okay.
We talked about that as a group and hiring that committee.
Last piece where we have we're just gathering a bunch of feedback from a lot of people, but I don't know, how do we choose who gets to give feedback on this? And how do we, and then someone that says, oh, well, that's not me, they picked those people and not me, or, it could get, and it could just add just another layer and another bit of time in the process of getting something approved.
Yeah. I agree. I think doing a formal invite and bringing people in is maybe a step we don't need to take. I think if there's ways we could, just highlight to people that when we're at the point where we're making decisions, we'd love people to come in, give public comments on these 3 designs or 2 designs, whatever we have. And let's hear that as we get ready to make a final decision, but not actually have anyone formally join the decision-making side of it. I'm open to that. And then we also, when we get to the point of, doing the application process ourselves, we'll have the 20-day notice as well for that area. So that'll be another opportunity for people to put feedback in once we've kind of selected a final piece and if there are other comments and stuff, we can hear those then.
So that's our October meeting?
Might not be October. We talk about, it'll be announced and, will be announced with finalists.
The deadline will be announced when the finalists are announced.
Yes, so
Like that.
we say in our September, we pick our people, great. We, then we'll probably do an announcement. It says October, but I think just by October, we'll have an idea of who those are, and then we can make some announcements of that. And encourage people to come to the meeting if they want to give public comment on the designs. And doesn't mean like in October meeting, we'll be picking an artist. It could be November that we're picking an artist, but, we'll at least have the finalists, the 3 finalists or 2 finalists selected by then. And
Okay,
that's
so
what
we'll
we're
take
announcing.
public comment at our October meeting.
We can take public comment as soon as we get if in September, if we say, okay, we've got 3 artists, do we want to give them until October to put together a proposal, or do we want to give them until November to put together a proposal? And then we decide if it's October, then yeah, we could, promote, come see the pieces, feel free to provide public comment on them, all that, or we could wait till November. I'm just saying, it's right now in
We gave
here, it's
ourselves
not
some wiggle room.
specific. We have wiggle room,
Okay.
which I think is good, gives us a chance to breathe if we're feeling like we've got too many other things going on,
Okay, all right,
so.
good, good.
And I will not be at the October meeting. Sorry.
Okay, well, there.
gonna be-
Oh, then hell no.
Yeah.
Overseas.
Okay, so that was, decision makers,
I got the budget thing answered. Thanks, Josh. That makes perfect sense.
budgeting. Is that all of your questions?
All my
Okay.
questions are answered.
Amy, now your questions.
I just had one. I was looking back, I thought we settled on 20 instead of 25. Because when I did the math, we were talking about, if we took the top end of the range, $50 an hour that we had discussed, and we were looking at 262 square feet, that came to 13,100. If it was 20,000, that would leave 6,900 for all the additional expenses, which is 35% of the entire thing. So that would be at 20. So I thought we'd agree to 20.
I thought we'd agreed at 20. Clearly, I thought we'd agree at 25, so I put it in there. I think that my recollection of the discussion was like that there were a fair amount of unknowns that could be added expenses, like that easement thing that you had to
Yeah.
get, and the cleaning fee that we would have to do. They'd have to pay for the cleaning too.
So your point, I think, yes, when we originally were talking about this and we looked at that formula for figuring out what the cost would be, 20,000 was, our number. But then after we had the discussion on the Railroad Avenue mural and the additional survey and wall cleaning and all that, we thought there could be additional costs beyond the materials and beyond that could raise it up. So having that top tier of 25,000 would cover those additional potential expenses. So that's why I think we kind of landed on 25,000 last time we talked, but it's up for debate still. We have not locked that in yet, so.
And I'm not trying to be cheap, but first of all, again, 35% of the money going towards expenses that are not the artist seems pretty comfortable. And then the other is that I have been informed by mural artists that when they do a per foot estimate, it's in the estimation, the other externalized costs. So if there's something that doesn't have any external costs, for whatever reason, it's pretty darn easy, and it's easy to get at, no permits or whatever, they might have a lower rate. But if they think that there are gonna be a lot of others, then this top end of 50 seems like it ought to cover it. So I thought 20 was comfortable. At risk of making you come up over and over and over again, I mean, is it fair? Do we want to hear from an actual artist who might also be applying? Is that a bad thing?
I don't think we want to hear about that
That's a
from
bad
an
thing,
artist.
okay.
that might
I
be
didn't
applying.
say that, and don't say I did, but,
That is stricken from the record.
that is stricken from the record. All right, well, but this is my understanding. is that when you have per square foot, all that other stuff is baked in. You don't come in and you say, here's my hourly rate, and then I'm gonna add every other little thing on top of it. And I still think that 35% of the actual amount is not bad. Unless I'm wrong.
What do others think?
I'm agnostic. I just, my only thing that I really want to be careful of and respectful to the artists is like these unknown expenses that seemed high when we heard about them from the Soul Flags mural, that survey and the cleaning that,
Well, but the cleaning's gonna be very different. Remember, there's not gonna be a person lift or cherry picker or whatever involved, and it's gonna be easily accessible. I think we don't have to have the.
I don't know if the cleaners needed the picker, that was for the artist, I thought, not the.
I had heard when we were discussing it that was
they had to
part of
rent a special sprayer, even though they got free water from the city.
Right.
We ended up going with a lower, yeah, we got one bid for $3,000 and we got a bid for $750. We ended up going with the lower bid and he did an awesome job.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know.
That's where my mind goes.
Because I was like, I had no idea how much it cost to clean concrete
It was
walls, and I
quite-
was like, $3,000.
It was quite a surprise, but that, a large part of that was renting and the.
Special spray.
Yeah, and the team that were, the electronic lift, the Z lift or whatever you call it.
Scissor lift.
I'm doing this, you know what I mean.
Right.
But we were very pleased with the contractor we did end up using, so.
So I don't think these are astronomical. I think they got into a situation that had some surprises, but
Yeah.
and it's gonna be easier to close the street off. It's just me looking after the public funds, but, if it's unreasonable and I'm being really mean and anti-artist, then I'm happy to defer to what the group wants.
You had a,
I think again, disclose appropriately within your RFQ what you're looking for the artist, what you know is going to have to happen to make the art go on the wall. So you're gonna have to clean it, you're gonna have to record an easement, you're gonna have to do this, you're gonna have to do that. Identify who is available from the city and as a resource to be able to answer any questions from potential artists about what those potential costs might be. And the artist will then identify whether or not they are gonna be able to provide a proposal on it. And you guys identify how much you're gonna be willing to spend on it.
That would be one thing to add. That's a good point, that to put in there that Ann is the contact for.
it's in there.
Oh, is it?
Contact information isn't there, but it's just about sending, all submission and questions regarding.
Oh, good. Okay, never mind.
We gave him your mobile number.
Yes.
I don't know, I think it's.
And your home address. Could you imagine?
Okay, so, yeah, so the wall, 70, let's say 75 feet, just to round up, by about 7 feet tall at the tallest point, but it narrows down, so you're essentially half of that square footage, which is about
62.
62 feet at the, hold on, at the $50 rate is,
13-1.
I did 62 at 50, I'm like, that's not right. Wait, hold on, I'm doing this wrong, 262.
Well, Joyce and Kristen, what are your thoughts on the budget?
I think if you put 20, you'll find somebody for 20.
Joyce?
It sounds fair to me.
Okay. If, I'm happy going with 20, and then really if we come back and they're just like, look, these things piled up, we weren't aware of them. Like, if they give us an itemized breakdown and it's like, yep, these things were not what we expected, we can always negotiate it later, but I think we should start with 20.
I don't think we can negotiate after. I mean, again, this is like, you would never do this with somebody, a deck guy. It's like you get a proposal, you expect that they're professional enough to have their costs.
Well, yeah, but if they start digging and they hit a
Well, we provided what they were. I mean, and these are not people who've never done murals. These are people who have.
True.
They're gonna
No, I
know.
understand that, and I, that's why I'm saying we start with the 20, but I'm also open if it came back later and said, look, this wall is actually like crumbling here, and so we need to hire someone, contract to come in and fix the wall,
Okay, well, that would be fair. That
then
would-
we would want to, figure out how we take care of that.
A change order.
A change order.
Set your price, set the terms in which you need it to be completed by. If things happen, there is always a possibility to do a contract amendment.
Yeah,
It is your guys' budget, and so you need to identify when they come back and want to do a contract amendment, whether or not you want to use your funds for that or for some other priority.
Or whether it's
But
reasonable.
there is a process that you can easily do to take care of the unknowns that we didn't think about. So, set a price and go.
I'm fine with the 20,000.
Okay.
Okay.
Everyone else seems to be fine with that as well? Okay, any other comments, feedback on the RFQ?
May I share one observation? So, people were really jazzed after last weekend's Community Paint Day. So much so that I had the city manager and our communications manager both talk to us about, this is awesome, the community really liked this.
Tony got jazzed.
And wanting to, so I've had other staff and other people in the community say they're interested in pursuing additional, murals on Railroad Avenue. I said, well, that is exactly what the Arts Commission is doing. They're interested in those, but they were also thinking about potentially, remember the little girl who came to us last year and was talking about having like an open mural space or something
Yeah.
like that. So there's appetite for folks to want to continue to have conversations with the Arts Commission about additional and potentially a space that could be as opposed to a permanent mural or a 5-year, 10-year mural, something that could be redone on an annual basis or something. So it's nothing we need to decide but just know people are excited after they saw the kind of turnout that we had. We had people coming from outside of Oregon City to be here and be part of that project.
I got on the
So-
Oregonian.
Yeah, I mean, it was,
We had what?
I got on the Oregonian.
Oh.
Yeah, it was all over.
Well, they
social
they were
media.
doing some type of, TV show or something, and I think they were gonna try and capture some images from it too. It's a big deal, and unfortunately, Railroad Avenue, after you get past the point that they're at, it starts to really narrow. And doing things there without blocking traffic becomes difficult, so, but
Yeah,
no.
if the city's excited about it, they'll be
Well,
more
maybe
interested.
they will, I don't know, I think until,
I think.
paint hits the wall, I'm not convinced. But,
He's a jaded city commissioner.
I've seen it, so I'm not saying don't do it, but don't go in full hearted, cause they could crush you.
So, to add to his wet blanket, I am very. She's very tired. Very tired. I'm worried about the cohesiveness of it. I am very worried that it's just gonna start looking like a bunch of mess.
Patchwork.
And that anything adjacent to the new one will detract from that, anything adjacent to ours could detract from that. If we don't very specifically and carefully curate what those designs are gonna be and let it tell the story.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just look a bunch of graffiti, that everything's all jumbled.
No, I agree, I think. Oh, did you have?
In the public art assessment,
If you don't punch your button, he's gonna start waving his hand.
I said it's working, please don't touch.
There you go, you're fine.
Oh, use the other one, use the other one then. Sorry.
This one has a red light on, is that okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I can't hear.
Okay, in the public art assessment, I identified at least one wall that has the potential to be like redone in a community fashion. They're park buildings. There's different like restroom type facilities that are pretty large walls. And I'm trying to remember the name of the park. My kids call it the Duck Park, but it has a little creek going through it. There is a mural on the side of the restroom in that park. And it is, I'm gonna guess 25-ish years old. It was definitely done by children in like partnership with the community. And I think there were even like paint donations. So doing things like that at similar buildings on a regular basis, like you could very easily like cycle through those park buildings and just every 10 to 15 years redo it. Like that could be a very low cost option to get a similar sort of community engagement.
And you
thing
avoid
on a
people having to
regular
stand in
basis.
traffic.
No, they would be in a beautiful park, and there would be reasons to highlight
ducks.
your park. A new park every year.
Well, so this is news because supposedly we went out and tried to look at available public space and somehow it came back that Railroad Avenue was it.
Well, we might want to talk to Public Works. I don't know. if
Yeah, I
talk
think
to
we
Parks.
need to
Talk
redo
to
that
Parks.
because I thought we had nothing left.
Parks has it has some small buildings that hold either bathrooms or like their equipment.
Yeah.
Parks
Ankeny or whatever, the park over there on the overlooking, has a great view if you ever go up there, but it's kind of off hidden. It has an outbuilding where they store their equipment and the Grange is right down there at the bottom of it. But every so often, someone graffitis it, right? And then they come back and they paint over it. So if we did something on that, that might actually be a way to resolve it from getting tagged every so often.
I think when Anne reached out to the parks person and the public works guy, the parks guy came back, you have it probably in your email, and said, we can't take it on in because we were trying to do it really like this summer. He's like, we can't do it in 2026, but I really want to partner with you in 2027. And then the public works guy came back and said, here's the list of spots that the city owns, and it was Railroad Avenue.
Okay.
Well, we need to not count on that anymore then and do our own because that's not helpful. I seriously was telling people, this is it. This is the last space we have. And we,
Yeah, no, there's definitely more.
We got City Hall right here.
right, so
Get your paintbrush, let's go.
I suggest that we do another effort on our own, you know, ask people again, but not rely that what they say is accurate because that
Well, it's
bothers
not that
me a
it
little
wasn't
bit.
accurate, I think like.
It's a bandwidth issue, which is,
That, like Alexis
normal.
is saying, they want to work, but we were trying to find something we could do this year.
yeah,
Well, but she already knows of all kinds of things we could have done this year.
Well, we're trying to do a mural every year, so we got
well,
plenty of
not
time.
everyone has the, I mean, they would have to probably do an inventory of what they have, and they just probably don't have anyone that could do it at this moment. And we were pushing a much tighter timeline before. We've spread that out now, so maybe they would be more willing. I think, well, one thing that I would like to do is invite Parks Department in to talk about the projects they're doing and talk about, we could, you know, discuss things like this and see if they're open to opportunities in the future of doing, you know. So, again, it comes down to just, you know, the right timing and communication and stuff and being clear with expectations. So I think bringing them in and having them talk, because they're one department we haven't ever talked to in here.
Yeah,
So I appreciate it.
thank you, Kathy Rowe.
Okay, so RFP, are we ready are people comfortable approving it with the changes, amendments that we've made on this one and letting Alexis make the final changes before it goes public? And then working with Ann on promoting it?
I think so.
I know we're flexible on the timing.
After this first, I think, phase, yes, it gets a little more flexible with, when we have to make decisions by.
Okay. Because I was rereading it in the RFQ, right? It's just like, you just want to know who they are, but there's nothing for the public to comment on until the RFP is done.
Well,
We could comment on the RFQs.
they could, I mean,
But
technically,
what's the point if they don't know what's going to be up on the
Right.
wall?
But
well-
I think the public can technically comment on anything that we have on our agenda, right?
yeah.
But would you bring them back then, once there is an actual, like, here's what we want to put on the wall?
I feel like, I mean, I don't mind us promoting it. I don't think you're right. We're not gonna get people coming in and looking at it like, they would when there's actually pieces that could go up out there. But never doubt the public to have a comment about something.
Right, but do we actually need their comment to choose the artist versus the piece?
No, we don't need their comment to select the finalists. It's just, we provide that opportunity as a city organization, as a city board, for them to do that. They come in, and when they come in, we're not actually supposed to engage with them at all. It's just them giving comment, and we take that into advisement when we make our final decision.
I know.
It's not a
I'm just saying,
back
is
and
it worthwhile to do it at the RFQ stage versus the RFP stage?
No.
And does your timeline
You're gonna want Kathy out.
allow for that? Was all.
I think in my mind, what it helps is it just starts to slowly build some momentum around it, getting public engagement as we go through this, and hopefully that will be beneficial to us when we get to the point where we are putting it up and people are excited about it, and we might want to do some community, engagement around that point of the project. But I agree. I don't think we need to spend countless hours trying to get people to show up here to comment on the application.
I'm just asking, are you inviting the public at the RFQ or the RFP?
I think we invite them both. I think we
Okay.
just, in any way we encourage them.
P, no Q.
But the public is invited to every one of them.
Yeah, I mean, they can come for
So we're
comment
not
in general.
inviting, we're not saying
But-
they can't come, but no, there's no reason to try to invite at that first stage until they have something from the RFP.
I agree that there's no real benefit to like banging on doors and telling people, oh, you need to come down and see this when we get to the RFQ review process. But we should still do the same amount of promotion, and if people are talking to other people, be like, hey, look, we're gonna be reviewing it. If you have some thoughts or things you wanna share, come down and
I disagree.
submit a public comment. That's our job, is to hear from the public.
It's our job, and they can show up, but it's confusing at that point, and we need to make the decision because we are the entitled supposed experts. And then when we have something that's meaty, these three, I think it's more worthwhile.
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but encouraging people to show up to any of our public events and give their input is always something we should be striving for. Because otherwise, we get to the point where we do want their feedback, and we don't have anyone in here doing it because we haven't built that relationship over time with them to come in and talk to us. Or maybe they have great ideas they want to share with us, or maybe they're potential.
Oh, they will have great ideas.
Or maybe they're potential future commissioners that we want to start to engage with. You never know what happens. I just say, to seem like we don't want their comments at some point in our process.
But this is our job. This is our job to
Our
whittle
job is
this
to
down.
represent them, yes, but we need to hear from them to understand how we represent them better.
Please help.
If I may. Your guys' meetings are posted in Trail News. It's posted on social media. Ensure that our partners let people know that it's available.
Yeah.
The RFQ process, when you guys are making a decision, identify that on your agenda as a public hearing, which means that you are soliciting the public's opinion about the RFQ. But that is the forum in which I would say you guys are soliciting public input. That means anybody in the audience can come up and talk to us, right?
Yeah.
But they have to have a defined interest. When you get to the RFP process, right, you have 3 artists that have gone through and identified a defined scope of this is my work that I want to put forth as the final choice. At that point in time, you can again, on your meetings, identify it as a public hearing. But before then, you can utilize your partners and have it posted at the Artist Guild or have it posted with DOCA as these are our 3 finalists. You can go through it at that point in time where the public then has a definitive view of what it is, right? And at that point in time, the public has a call to action. Whereas with the RFQ process, the public doesn't necessarily have that call to action because you guys are still trying to figure out your squishy-feely, our artistic job that you guys are on this board to solve for, right? But you're still giving the public that opportunity. We will still post it on the city's website. We will still post it on social media. They will still have the opportunity for those of them that will sit here at every meeting, they might have a desire to have a public comment, right? The RFP process gives it a more defined call to action to the public of this is what we want your input on, and utilize your partners to help garner interest in that input.
Yeah.
So use the public hearing process, use your partners, and go.
I
just
think
wanted
that's
to
what
make
I'm
sure
saying.
It was not what you were saying, but we can say it was.
I'm saying when we get to the point where we're at the RFP, yes, let's reach out to DOCA, let's reach out to some of these other groups we want to partner with, especially from our list that we have, right? But the next one, putting it out as public comment is sufficient in my mind.
I just wanted to make sure there was time for that, because it wasn't especially clear in here. It was like, here's the RFQ now, here's the RFP, and we're voting and we're done. That's all. That was my only concern.
You mean there's not a defined phase of public review? Oh, well, yeah, no, that'll happen partially during the RFP process when we do that, but also at the end, when we get to the actual application portion of the mural itself. There'll be additional opportunities for people to put comments, and that'll go out to the city commission itself, because they'll be reviewing the application.
I just want to make sure that people knew.
Yeah.
I just want to throw in one little thing. You guys are the decision makers, right? You guys have the right to, based off of your vision that is adopted and the policies that are adopted and the overall goal, to make the decision. So be aware that the public is always going to have a desire, and your guys' desire is because you have the full board vision and the public only has the single board vision, may not align, right? We can use the example of the city commission's evaluation of the city flag. Public had input, city commission saw a different vision, city commission adopted the vision that they feel, knowing the whole board. So public input's great, but take your guys' vision and adopt the vision because you guys have the whole board in front of you. And just be prepared that you're never gonna satisfy everybody, but you all already know that.
Yeah, which actually is a good segue into our next thing, but let's first approve the RFQ, RFP. So is there a motion to approve as written with the amendments we talked about tonight? I'll clarify that. Is there a motion to approve the RFQ, RFP with the amendments we have tonight, and to then begin the process of marketing it out to potential artists and applicants?
With many thanks to Alexis for all the time that she has spent in this, I would like to make the motion that we approve the RFQ, RFP.
Okay,
With the two additions that, or clarifications.
Yeah, I got him.
clarification and the 20,000.
That's one of them, yeah.
Okay,
Got it.
okay. Is there a second?
I second.
Joyce? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, say the same. Okay, I'll consider that approved. Thank you, everyone. Last up is
Now it's
the
gonna come to you.
proposed updates to the vision statement. So, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with our vision statement. I don't know, and if you have it up, I can share it real quick too.
If you wouldn't mind, again, from where I'm sitting, I'm not able to access
Okay.
my files.
So, this is our vision statement. It is very long, very complicated. I was around when we debated this, and it kind of became a bit of a, I'll call it a normal legislative process where people start adding little things to the bills as they go through to like get everything they want in there. And it wasn't, it kind of came out as this hodgepodge of all these great ideas, but no real clear vision from it that I think we can point to and have kind of that sense of what we're aiming for. It's also one of the goals or objectives under our goal 4 to clean this up. So what I was going to propose, is there anyone interested in taking a first crack and maybe coming up with, taking this, looking at what others have done, and coming back with some proposed options to replace it, and then we can go from there in terms of, you know, if we pick one that we like, and then maybe wordsmith a little bit, but really narrow this down to a much more clear, concise vision statement that we can utilize going forward as we start to, you know, point to what we are trying to achieve.
I would be happy to take that on. I went and looked at some other sites and some of the language that I am in favor of less is more and just be direct. There's also a difference between a mission statement and a vision statement.
Yeah.
So the vision is where you get really airy-fairy here and not really sure what you say. And so there might even be the option of having just a good solid mission statement and not a vision statement that you kind of.
Yes, but also take a look, I don't know if there's somewhere else we have the, like our mission outlined, and so we just want to be clear, yeah, how we use that.
And that they link that, and that they're like,
They're linked, yeah, and stuff. If you want to come back with a proposal on, here's what, you know, I would recommend a mission statement versus a vision statement if you find.
Oh, it's just an option.
But yeah, come back with whatever proposal you want, but I think ultimately the vision statement needs to be reworked to make it clear, because it is
And concise.
and concise.
but it's also,
Say
it's
something
double,
meaningful.
it's written in here double, right?
Yeah.
That's not intentional. Okay, I was
Oh,
like,
grabbed it from
is that an
another- I
artistic
didn't even notice
choice?
it. No, it's just
It
this.
does make.
And if you didn't get it the first time, here it is again.
That's interesting. I grabbed it from somewhere, I can't remember where.
Well, and I
Not that
think,
long then, it's fine.
It's half the distance.
I think Rebecca has created some language that is not listed as either, if I remember correctly, mission or vision, but it kind of is.
Yeah,
And so we've already got something up there that we could probably play with. And part of me is, I mean, I don't want to step on Rebecca's toes. I think she's the wordsmith. But I can have proposals and just see. I think what's most useful is to, and this is what I did with a few people, is like, you know, what is really good from other places? Because there are really bad ones. They go on and on and on, and they're just nebulous. They just feel good, but you're not really sure what they said. So presenting a bunch of those, and then maybe some ideas, and then maybe I could call Rebecca too and see what she thinks.
yeah, or have her take a look at it. I know, you know, there's
She's not here, let's assign her to the committee.
there's language on like the website and stuff that she's very familiar with that you might just want her to take a look at and say, okay, is this aligning with other areas, you know, other language we have out there already? And if there's any big discrepancies that we want to be aware of. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy with that. I'm sure she would be happy to just provide input if you had questions before the next one, before the next time we look at it. And again, it doesn't have to be back in August, but work on it and come back. So let us know when you're ready. Awesome. So that was the last item under discussion items. Last thing is communication. Are there any items that people wanted to just bring up to the group in general for the good of the order?
Yeah, I'd just like to know where we are with the new commissioners.
Have you heard anything from Jacob or the mayor?
No, I have not. We have not received any additional applications because they do inform me when new ones roll in. I do know that Mayor McGriff's been on vacation
Okay.
she's been on, so, yeah.
So I think it's open to still, if you meet people you think would be a good option, like encourage them to sign
Encourage
up.
them to apply.
The city is also does an annual recruitment process that I
Mm.
believe begins in August or September, and so they'll do a big push for all commissions and committees.
Yeah.
And so that'll be another push out for the Arts Commission as well.
And then we'll have the additional 3 that will be up for election this year.
So if you are up for election, then do put in your applications
Yeah.
again.
you're stuck with this, put it in.
Yeah, I just think it would be such a good idea to talk to Jacob about a way that we can tailor it. So one of the things that happens because of that is that one person says, I can do all of these, and applies for them all.
We have adjusted it already.
Oh, good for that. That is very helpful. But when it's just a generic and we can't explain what we want, then we're gonna get people who think that saying I love art is gonna kind of be what we're looking for, when in reality, we're kind of hoping for another one of her. You know, like the tangential skills along with and it's, in my opinion, it's just my opinion. It's not fair to ask people to fill out an application when you don't state what you're looking for. So, you know, there's always some kind of a job description for a job that you apply for, and you tune what you say in accordance to that, and we don't give them the chance. And so then it can look less strong than it is. And if there was a way to figure out how we could possibly do that without being kind of hemmed in with, it's got to be something that is generic enough so that it would also work for Historic Review Board and transportation.
So, just throwing it out there, you guys are the Arts Commission, and one of your roles and responsibilities is to help with recruitment. And you guys participate in events, use your resources and your partners to try to help recruit people into the process, right? When it comes to things like the Arts Commission, you guys are looking for specific types of expertise to add to your dynamics of conversation. That is, even if we have a stellar application process that is incredibly detailed, here's a job description, we do a whole recruitment process, you're still potentially not going to get that person, because they may not know to look at a city government function as something that they want to do stuff,
No,
right?
of course. No, these two people will be the first to know.
Right, and so I say that as it's your guys' job to help promote the Arts Commission. You're gonna get more interest and input that way than you are through our application process that people are just gonna fill out online because they're interested in doing something.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so I guess what you're saying is, I mean, that's a nice idea, but no, they're gonna stay generic.
Amy, that's a nice idea, but you have already identified like 5 projects for your guys' self today, so maybe pace a little.
Okay, so yeah, continue to promote the openings. One thing I will add, that if you have someone that's good and they do end up applying, once they've applied, try not to say too much more about it with them at that point, because their connection to it is different now. They're a candidate, so we don't want to look like someone received favoritism in any way from other candidates. So just be aware of that. But yeah, I think something we could put together that might help us as we try and identify new potential people is like a skill matrix. That what are the skills that we would want in someone new, and then once we have that, you all would have a way to help identify good other candidates. So someone with skills in certain areas that help us in what we do.
But that's the people that we find. There's no way to get that out in front of people who would.
We could put something on our website or something. I mean, that's a good way to communicate out things, but
Okay.
yeah.
Without being overly favoritism oriented, yeah, like that makes sense.
Yeah, like
Just point everybody to
a
the
little
website.
blog about here's what, you know, a great art commissioner does. I don't know. We could think of something, but yeah, there's
I like them.
options out there we can do to help promote it without, asking Jacob to change his way.
Okay, all right.
One other question I had, have we received back the final paperwork for the Railroad Avenue mural, the survey and all that yet? Or
Not
is
yet.
it in the process? Okay. Any other communications?
So, Oregon City Festival of the Arts, second weekend of August.
Yep.
Are we doing anything as a commission? I mean, now that we're talking about the recruitment, I know there was a social media post about apply to be a commissioner. I can print that off and post it. Is there anything else
She
you
has a
want me to
point.
do?
I think she's inviting us to have a booth, correct?
Pardon?
Are you saying it's a good idea to maybe have a booth?
Well, so we had talked about the chalk.
We talked about that and then it kind of didn't, I got from everyone that it wasn't necessarily something we wanted to do this time around, but happy to re-look at that if people are thinking we want to do something there.
Well, what do we need? We need to get the word out to people, and then we need to hopefully find people that we might want to recruit. Less than we need to put chalk somewhere, in my opinion. So if we're not thinking that that's the best use of our time and resources, and we still want to participate, is it a good idea? Is that what you're saying, to have a booth where we're actually there and engage people?
I just wanted to know if you want a spot.
She's an event organizer trying to help
A girl out here.
trying to get things wrapped up before the event.
I don't blame her. Is that a bad idea or a good idea? Is it an option?
To have a booth?
Yes.
It's an option.
Work with me.
Sorry, I'm not following all the conversation. Yes, there is a booth available. I just need to know if you guys want it.
Okay.
Is there a cost?
Not at this point.
What do other people think?
The first time that I heard about the Oregon City Arts Commission was at the Downtown Street Fair, at a booth.
Nice. That's awesome.
Trieste, is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
Okay.
I think
metro
it's a
wants
good
it.
idea. I think it's a really good idea.
Second weekend in August, so the 7th, 8th, is that?
8th and 9th.
8th and 9th.
So the metro had asked for a booth and they'll be there, coincidentally.
Oh, then forget it.
Okay.
You all want to collaborate on that booth too? Like, if you wanted to be an Oregon City Arts Commission and Document Arts Alliance booth? I can't do solo booths right now just because I'm around recovery stuff, but I'd be happy to we can combine forces, split hours, things like that.
Yeah.
We have a lot of resources too, like booth setup resources.
Oh.
Yes. That would be awesome.
Yeah. What are the hours on each?
It's 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Pardon?
If that works for
Yeah.
the festival line for us.
Yeah, I just need to know
So
if
are you
somebody's gonna
already
use
signed
it.
up? You already have a booth?
We were not signed up.
Okay.
Because I don't have the capacity to do that because I'm focused on recovery stuff, but I would love to do it if I can collaborate with you.
Other people.
Okay, I'll set up a
There
date,
you go.
Is that all right with you guys? I mean,
Or, yeah,
as long as there's somebody there to be there, or at least just materials.
Yes.
Need to
Um,
schedule it.
okay,
we can send out a schedule and say, sign up for the hours you can be there and see what comes up. We can do that offline because that doesn't violate open meeting law. So, yeah, is there a motion to approve partnering with
We can't do that because that was not on the agenda as a motion to approve, so I think this is not something that has to be identified as an Arts
Right.
Commission action. It's something that you all could identify that a resource is available and volunteer to participate in that resource as individuals.
But
So,
if we wanted to designate any budget towards it, like printed advertisements or things, I guess we have that open, we already have that printed materials.
yeah, I don't
Line
know if
item.
we really, I'm thinking it's gonna be mostly talk.
That's
It's-
fine.
it's
And that's what
really-
that's what happened at the
Resource fair?
resource fair too, it was mostly talk. We
Right.
ended up bringing back a lot of stuff, so we still have quite a bit. So yeah, and we have the pop-up banner and, yeah. Okay, so yeah, if people are in favor of that, we can move forward. And you had a comment?
I just wanted to remind people, since it's such an awesome weekend to be in Oregon City, that's the same weekend as Porch Fest and the McLaughlin Neighborhood Association sidewalk sale. Is that the-
Yard sale, garage
Yard
sale,
sale.
stuff sale.
Stuff sale.
Okay. Awesome. So,
So next steps are,
next steps are send us,
Do I have everybody's emails? Are they available?
Yeah, I'll email them. I can
Yeah.
Okay.
we'll send out a schedule for identifying who can be where, when, that weekend, at the booth.
it almost sounds to me like she's just gonna tell us it's available. She shouldn't have to send out a schedule. It almost sounds like you and I should figure out our own and then ask everybody, who can-
Availability.
Yeah, availability.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize.
Scratch off.
Do you want extra
You wanna leave, you wanna leave
Okay,
the,
scratch
Well, I don't see anybody else jumping out. I can't even get you guys to respond, so I'm kind of thinking it is just me.
I have a really busy weekend that weekend, so if the hours come out, I'll commit like 2 hours
No,
to
you-
it, but I
you
just
don't
don't know when.
It's okay, but
Yeah.
she shouldn't have to do our
No,
schedule.
I agree.
So, yeah, I'll take the
I
meeting.
wasn't saying she did, I said we have to, the next step is we have to send out a schedule.
Yeah.
Whoever does that, it could be Ann, it could be whoever, but we just need
Anne's
to get a
going on
schedule.
vacation. so
Kelly,
I'm
would
not
you like
making-
to send a schedule first?
Absolutely not. Andy, I'm not
Oh,
making-
come on. All right, we will get together. We will have a booth together. We will figure out who helps set up, who helps take down, what the shifts.
Well, and you might need help picking up your assets, right, for the booth?
Yeah, it might not, we can figure
I
it
could-
out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's.
I'm just saying, it's not just gonna be
Here in
meeting
Oregon
at
City,
the
it should
location and,
Yeah,
okay,
okay.
sounds good. I can bring over the materials that we have from the last event.
Yay.
Okay.
You are so tired.
I am so tired. And the meeting.
I have one community announcement.
Oh, sorry.
I'll leave the microphone for this one, I should have earlier, but I'll pass this around.
I love it.
For the record, I'm Ariela Sophie Sternberg from the Clackamas Arts Alliance. I just wanted to pass on an announcement of a community event that we are organizing. It is a mural walk elsewhere in Clackamas County, so it's in Estacada. It is August 1st, so the weekend before Oregon City Photo. Estacada, there's like a separate nonprofit called the Art Back. They do something you were just talking about, which is they have a new mural every year. At this point, they've been doing it since 1994. So, yeah. And this is the thing. It's a small rural community. They have over 20 murals in this very walkable downtown area. So we're wanting for this to be two things. One, an invite to people who might live in Estacada who just don't know the stories behind the mural. So it'll be guided tour with some of the organizers. They're doing a restoration on one of the murals right now, or they will be at that point in time. So we'll be able to see the artists at work and talk to them a little bit about the process, both the original mural and the new mural and the things that they're doing. I'm also sort of reaching out to invite other cities just so they can learn about the process of how they've been able to make that happen. And, with a largely volunteer group, right? So it's a good resource for people who want to bring about similar programs. They do a lot of great grant writing, operating on a shoestring because that's familiar, but it's really, really phenomenal. I will pass this around.
I'm going.
Great.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday afternoon. The idea is, come out, we'll bring some popsicles, bring friends and family. Yeah, have fun.
Thank you.
Cool.
One last thing that I wanted to share out, sorry. But, so last time we met, I talked about the Confederate Tribes of Grand Ronde was gonna be donating manhole covers to Oregon City. This is the design of that said man cover.
Cool.
And so they're gonna donate, I think, they're keeping 20, donating 50. So these will be placed around the city, hopefully in more, walkable areas so people can stop and see them. They're gonna do shirt printing with them, so they're gonna cover them in ink and then, which will be cool. So yeah, I just wanted to share that as a cool thing coming in August. I think they received them August 11th, so. Yeah. Awesome, okay.
Is this a good time to review the entire municipal code?
Okay, we don't need a motion to adjourn, so I will adjourn the meeting at 8:46 PM.
Thanks, everybody.